Hey, what is good? What is good? What is good, beautiful people? Of course, you know who I be. Good Doc. Dr. Mike TV. Back again, once again. You already know what it is. Instant classic in the making. First time to the channel, guys. Make sure you subscribe, notify, do all the good things to make yourself well versed in the Good Doc's content. Everything you should need to know about me shall be listed in the links in the description area below. I don't know what it is about foreigners, but I love y'all. And you make my job easy. You make my job fun. So I often get questions from foreigners about what potential business ideas would you think about starting up in the Philippines if you had the opportunity. I know a lot of us, whenever we go to the Philippines, normally we're about to retire, we're ready to settle down. We're not necessarily thinking about businesses or anything of the like. So I've come up with a couple of ideas that I think will be beneficial to my foreigners who just need something to keep themselves busy. So I listed about three, but if I could come up with a few more, I will let you know. But here are my top three cheap potential business ideas for foreigners in the Philippines. All right. So first things first, let's go ahead and knock this one out the way. Or what I should say first before I start. When I talk about cheap potential business ideas, guys, I'm talking about businesses with low capital startup, all right? With low startup capital. Overhead is minimal at best. But we're talking about startup capital of around probably about 3 grand or less, 150,000 pesos or less at the 50 peso exchange rate. So, first business I want to mention to you guys, we talked about it in a prior video, opening up a sorry store. All right, opening up a sorry store, building one in front of your own house. I think you can build a sizable sorry store in front of your house for roughly about 50,000 pesos, just enough to get some brick and some hollow block and stuff. So hopefully the structure of the building shouldn't cost too much. 50,000, 60,000, maybe 70,000 at the most, and the other remaining capital will be utilized for supplying the store, getting your inventory and everything together. Now, the one thing about inventory is you don't know how long you're going to be holding on to it, so you can supply your store, make sure it's really full like you want it to be, but you never want anything that has expiration dates that are going to be high or soon, because once these things start to expire or they're getting to the point of expiration, it pretty much is wasted inventory. So you definitely want to make sure that you have a eclectic blend of things inside of your store: drinks, soft drinks, sodas. I said drink, soft drink, sodas. That's all the same thing. Eggs, oil, dish detergent, powder, things for the house, little knickknacks and stuff like that, snacks. Definitely make sure you have cigarettes. I don't know what it is about sorry stores, but every time I go there, you can't keep cigarettes in stock at a sorry store. That is 100% accurate. So you definitely want to make sure that you have these particular items in stock, because I know for a fact that they're going to sell. All right. So if you ever do have a potential idea of opening up a sorry store, I do not believe that that would be a bad idea, and it would definitely be one that is more so on the cheaper end for opening up the potential business in reference to the startup. I will say this: sorry stores are not big business. They're not going to make you rich. I mean, I think the only way you're going to be able to make it rich in these sorry store businesses if you scale it, basically have more than one, and also if you're the only one in your area that has that store. All right. That's pretty much the only ways that I can see you making a lot of money or making any potential substantial money with a sorry store. All right, so that's my first business, guys. First potential cheap business idea: sorry store. Running into number two, a water refiltration station. That is a mouthful, ladies and gentlemen. Let me say that one more time: water refiltration water filtration station. I'm sorry, my words are effed up today, but yes, a water refiltration station wherein you fill up these like 5 gallon jugs or like of water, man, just purified water. I don't know what it is, but I do believe that this is a very, very good business. People like clean water, man. People enjoy clean water. As a foreigner, I love clean water. I can't drink the water out of the tap, and in most areas you can't drink it. In Davao it's safe, but in a lot of areas it is not safe for people to drink water from the tap. So they have two options: they can go to the store, they can buy their absolutes, all of the different water brands that they have available in these stores, and they can waste plastic bottles, or they can bring these gallon jugs to you for you to be able to refill it for them for a measly 35 pesos or so, and they can bring it back and forth to their houses and things like that. Most foreigners, myself included, and most Filipino people that I know they would rather use water filtration stations and fill up these water jugs because they come out a whole lot cheaper than having to go into the store and buying water every single time that they need it, wasting the plastic and things of that nature. So if you have the business idea, you have a great location, guys, a water filtration station wherein, you're just doing water refilling, basically a water refiltration station, however you say it. Those are actually pretty good businesses too. I think that they do pretty well. Again, I'm not going to sit there and say you're going to strike it rich with it. Definitely something to keep you busy, and it definitely does have a good upside to it, depending on where you're located. Again, everything is definitely about location, 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 location. All right. And the last one. This is one that if another foreigner has made this video or a video like this one, I think this is one that they miss out on. And this is one that I've become very familiar with throughout my tenure of just being around and just, observing things around me. But I think from a foreigner, this is actually a pretty good business idea. And I encourage you guys to at least look into it if you have the idea of potentially wanting to open a cheap business. I think you guys should think about owning your own fleet of tricycabs, or the tricycle bicycle with the little cab on the side. A fleet of them. I would say start out with about 2, and then if business is good, you expand, you expand, you expand. Now, the reason I like this as a business is because people always need rides, man. Wherever you are, most locations, they need people to take them, whether it be to the top of the street, whether it be to the store here, whatever. These, these tricycabs in these neighborhoods that are on longer streets, like where I used to live at, these people are running damn near 24/7 for the most part. All right. Now, the way I would run it is plain and simple. Everything would be on a daily rate. So basically, I would say the driver would owe me, or basically it would be like the driver renting that particular bicycle from me, or that tricycab from me, at about 60 pesos daily rate. So if they made 500, hey man, they just made a profit of about 440 pesos on their end. I don't believe in trying to do percentages. I don't believe in trying to calculate their rides or however much they charge and this, that, and the other. I don't believe in that stuff. I'm like, look, all you owe me is 60 pesos every single day you're renting the bike from me. All right. And if you're not using the bike, you bring the bike home. If you don't bring the bike home where I stay at so it can stay securely in my place, you are responsible for the bike. You are responsible for the pay. You are responsible for the wage of that day. Even if you don't drive or not, you owe me my 60 pesos a day. All right. That way your money is consistent. That way there's no confusion. That way there's no trying to figure out, well, you owe me this because of this. You got 600 pesos, so give me 10% of 600 or whatever. And fuck all that. Nah. You set a daily rate for them to rent the bike from you. That way there's no confusion. That way that person has a job. I believe in providing work for Filipino people, and I think that, all of these jobs are good for providing work for, the community. 100%. And like I said, man, it just works in your favor as long as that person brings you what they owe you. I mean, they don't have to come and bring you 60 pesos every day. They could pay you X amount per week or however long they want to do it. That way they're not wasting time having to come see you and to drop off the wage and, things like that. But definitely a tricycab business. I don't think it costs much to attach the little cab to the side of a bicycle in the Philippines. I think, like I said, you could probably get 2 good bikes for the startup capital that I aforementioned. Could at least get 2 started. And if you think that you can really transition this into something better, you can start your own little fleet, man. Have about 3 or 4 or 5 bicycle riders riding for you, paying you a daily rate, man. And before you know it, man, that snowball effect's going to pick up. And one thing that I want to mention, as you guys noticed, I didn't mention internet cafes. I didn't mention any type of food stalls or anything like that. And the reason why I don't mention things like that is because food, if you don't sell it, it's wasted, pretty much. I mean, it goes bad if you don't sell it, especially if it's been out for a significant period of time. So those businesses are high. I think it has high waste rate. So I don't want you to get involved in that. And of course, opening up a internet cafe, all the monitors and things that you would have to buy, even if it is a small store, monitors, they could be a little bit on the high end if you think about the monitor and, all of the little things that need to be attached to it, definitely. And the fact that you're probably only going to be able to charge maybe 10 to 15 pesos every day. I'm sorry, not every day, per hour for usage. I mean, the chances of you making good money for the amount of money that you put in, it's high, and it could potentially be well, but it just seems like it'll take a little bit of time for you to get started up. And as you guys know, these are definitely businesses that are pretty much ran by Filipino people. So you wouldn't want to put up a business wherein you're rivaling somebody that's local, because chances are you'll probably have to end up dealing with a little bit more of a headache. But I do think that water refiltration stations, nobody really needs to know that you're the foreigner that owns it. Sorry stores, it's in the front of your house. Of course, they're probably gonna know that you own it, but as long as your prices are no different than what they'll charge anywhere else, I'm pretty sure you'll get business. So that's not really anything to be pressed about. And the last one, guys, in reference to the fleet, nobody really knows that it's your fleet. All right, these are just drivers that come pay you whenever you need to be paid, and all they see is just a motorbike or a taxi cab driver. I'm sorry, a tricycab driver going back and forth and picking up people for fares. Nobody knows who owns it. Nobody needs to know who owns it. So it's not as if you're ever going to be pressed by any outside entities, at least in my opinion. As long as you keep your bikes up to par, as long as the person who's riding it takes good care of your stuff, I do believe that there is a high potential that, you can start to really make good money with a business like owning your own fleet of tricycabs. I would have said motorcabs, but motorcabs, those motorbikes can be a little bit expensive. It would be worth it to think about it, but in reference to my startup capital line, and we're talking about cheap potential ones, I think that it'd be just a little bit more expensive if you tried to do the motorbikes. So that's why I didn't mention those. But those are my 3 potential cheap business ideas for foreigners to own in the Philippines, or to attempt if they choose to. Again, just make sure you do your due diligence, and definitely make sure that you pay your taxes, file your taxes, and do everything above board. I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to be in your name. You can run it, just put it in your young lady's name, or your Filipino partner's name, and I do believe that you'll be able to make good things happen. So those are mine. If you guys have any differing business ideas that you want to add, man, that's what the comment section is below for. All right, has been fun. It has been real, man. Time for the good doc to go and get the get. And so with that being said, good doc is officially out. At least nako paalam, which means I am going now. Bye-bye. As always, love you guys. Sincerely do. Mahal kita. I want you to focus on one thing that I said in this video. If you didn't catch anything, I want you to focus on this particular talking point. The businesses that you open are there to provide jobs for the people in the community. All right? So trust me, man, you're going to be doing good even if you're doing good. You understand? So make sure you take a mental note of that one. All right? Good doc is out. Peace.